What you're looking at here is a really powerful and deeply personal story of protest. Today, we're going to dig into why families are literally taking to the streets to demand accountability from one of the world's biggest social media companies.
So picture this. It's a Friday in Santa Monica, and the street right outside Snapshot's headquarters gets totally transformed into a memorial. You have these grieving parents, and they aren't armed with signs, they're armed with paint. And they're writing their children's names, one by one, directly onto the pavement. I mean, what an incredibly poignant message to send to the company inside. And we're talking about more than 100 names. Each and every one represents a child whose family says their life was tragically cut short because of dangers they ran into on the platform. These parents, they came from all across the United States, some even from the United Kingdom, all united by loss, just to make their voices heard. Okay, so what's really driving this powerful act of protest? Well, it boils down to two distinct and frankly devastating dangers that these families allege their children faced. Let's take a look at what spurred them to make such a public and heartbreaking stand. On one hand, you have the absolutely terrifying threat of counterfeit drugs. These families allege that some young users were able to connect with dealers right on the platform and then unknowingly bought pills that were laced with deadly fentanyl. Then, on the other hand, they described this relentless cyberbullying, cases where severe harassment just spiraled tragically out of control. Now, what's really crucial here is that the parents aren't just blaming bad actors. They're pointing their finger at the very design of the platform itself. They're arguing that certain features played a direct role in these tragedies. One of the features right at the center of these concerns is something called Snap Maps. It's a tool inside the app that lets users share their real-time physical location with people they're connected with. And here's where it gets really scary. The families allege that this exact location sharing feature created a dangerous bridge, making it alarmingly easy for drug dealers to find and physically meet up with teenagers, sometimes right in their own neighborhoods. That direct line between a platform feature and real-world harm is really at the heart of their entire argument. So, this protest isn't just about grief. It is a direct and very focused call for action. The parents have laid out specific changes they believe are absolutely necessary to prevent any more tragedies. And their demands are pretty clear. First, they want stronger age verification. Second, tougher, more proactive action against drug-related content. Third, much faster and more effective intervention when harassment is happening. And finally, the big one, a fundamental demand for greater company accountability for what happens on its platform. To really understand what's going on here, we have to kind of zoom out. This gathering in Santa Monica, it's not an isolated event. It is absolutely part of a much larger, ongoing conversation about the role of technology in our kids' lives. Yeah, this protest serves as a stark reminder of this global debate that's happening right now, a debate about the duty of care that these powerful tech companies owe their users, especially their youngest and most vulnerable ones. It really raises these fundamental questions about responsibility in the digital age. The parents' argument really boils down to this. For a platform that has such an immense influence over young lives, ensuring their safety can't just be a secondary thought or some kind of optional extra. It has to be a primary, non-negotiable responsibility. And so, this whole thing leaves us with a fundamental question, doesn't it? In an age where these digital platforms are an inescapable part of growing up, where does the responsibility for safety truly lie? Should it ever be optional? That's something to think about.